Hey, welcome to the Best Ball Show, episode 2. I'm Mikey.
Yep. Geffre's here.
Today we're going to get into the tours. So we're going to talk all the tours that we know of, or most people probably know of.
Yeah. Little LPGA, PGA, Live.
Yeah, Corn Ferry, Champions.
What's going on this weekend?
Yeah, a lot of good stuff out there. We had the Live Tour, which is on behind us, but it's a replay. Abram Answer took it in Hong Kong.
Right.
Great leaderboard going into their third day.
It's always a strong leaderboard. They've got majority of the best players in the world.
Yeah,
Like it or not.
I think Abram, he was going in with a 5-shot lead, and then you had Paul Casey, Cam Smith catch him for a playoff, which, you can't write better TV than that.
Right.
You also had DeChambeau up there. You had Rom was in the mix. Kapka was up there. So such a strong group over there, even though it's a smaller field,
Right.
which is what Rory now wants.
Yeah, to come out and say, was it last week? I think in Golf Digest, they've got it quoted here that I'm all for less players and less tour cards and the best of the best, just wanting to make the PGA Tour more cutthroat. And sounds like Live, doesn't it?
It does. That's not really going to grow the game, I don't think, as much, but it'll make it more difficult to get on the small group of PGA Tour, which is kind of like Live. But maybe that will make the Corn Ferry Tour, that other feeder tour they have a collegiate tour that leads into the PGA Tour. Maybe it'll make those stronger.
You're going to have less play. If you have enough players in the tour, you have no choice. They have to play somewhere, right? Trying to win their cards. And so it's going to make all those other tours more competitive. But it's just, the PGA Tour has their hand in just another tour. When you look at how many tours they're part of, they are part of the European Tour,
Canadian,
the Asian Tour,
Latino Tour.
You got the Corn Ferry.
Yeah,
right?
I think too the other piece that you run into is PGA Tour can have the no-name Cinderella story, whereas Live, you have such a strong field of the oldie but goodies, the good guys right now, strong personalities. Like, you've got a pop-in show, and it's much more entertaining, and they go shot. I was watching PGA Tour, and I think I got to see Wyndham Clark read a putt for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Not something I'm going to tune in for.
No. The most entertaining thing on the PGA Tour right now is Scheffler's footwork when he's hitting the ball,
true.
right? He's dancing all over the place.
That electric slide.
Yeah, but it seems like the majority of the personalities they're on Live.
Yeah, and Scheffler doesn't have a huge personality, but that's kind of what's great about him. He's got that DJ, just
a little bit.
I'm just going to win. I'm going to keep my head down. I do my job. He looks like Buzz Lightyear.
Right.
But
the thing about DJ's got the swag.
Yeah.
Like, he just looks cool when he's out there just walking around. Like, I own this place,
That's true. Yeah, Scheffler, he's kind of the silent assassin out there.
If he's not on tour, he's going to Home Depot on Sundays.
Yeah, exactly. But he's playing great. I'm a huge fan of his. I think he's all around just a good guy, probably. Right. Just a nice dude.
When you look at, we're talking about him right now. We'll talk about the PGA Tour here a little bit. So, big change this week, right? He went to the Spider Tour mallet putter. We kind of talked about it a little bit in episode 1. We joked about this guy's putting. He was really struggling last year, especially inside 10 feet, which was crazy. His ball striking was just elite for a couple years now. If he could even putt middle of the field from inside 15 feet, he would have won multiple more.
Well, it was just last year, though. The year before that, he putted insane. And then it kind of started slowing down. He didn't finish too strong in the playoffs. And then last year, he played really well kind of in the beginning. Then his putting inside of 10 feet.
I think he led almost every field, tee to green, led almost every.
He was top 5 for sure in almost every.
And then
strokes gained, everything.
So for this weekend, he did make the change to the TaylorMade Spider Tour version, a little bit smaller head. Got fit in for that, and he led the field in putting.
That's a good thing too. When you're struggling with the putter, even if you're not going to keep that putter forever, sometimes the change. Yeah. You lose that roboticness, and you lose that, I got to do this, I got to do that, right. I messed up. And you just start, oh, well, it's a different putter. And you just start hitting your lines again, right. And you get out of the robot land.
Right.
And then now he's draining everything. I mean, what was he, 15 for 15 or 16 for 16?
Yeah, inside 15 feet.
Insane.
Didn't miss a single putt.
Won by 5 strokes. He shot 66 today. Wyndham Clark shot a 70 to take second. Shane Lowry was up there. But, I mean, still, he won by 5.
Right. Well, he was plus 4 strokes on the field because of putting.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the difference in his win.
That's insane.
Right? I mean, he won by 5 strokes. So he's squeaking it in on putting. If he doesn't putt like that, he wins by 1 maybe.
Yeah, and Mr. Rory, who wants to shrink the tour, he shot 73, 70, 68, 76. So he finished at 1 under, tied for 21st.
Yep.
Probably wants that no cut feel. Yeah. I mean, he's getting close to that cut.
Rory actually became the first player in the ShotLink era to be able to drive the number 10 green today.
Yeah, he hit. I mean,
365
huge fan of his
yards.
swing. He's got such a solid swing. I mean, pound for pound, I don't know if anyone hits it harder or farther.
So yeah, he's the first player to do it. I think it was 365 yards.
Him, it's really just putting, and it's hard to tell. It almost looks more like it's green reading. Like he doesn't quite read it right because he doesn't. You don't see him hit a lot of putts offline. You don't see like, oh, he pulled it, he pushed it. It's always like he didn't read it right.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yep. So what's interesting, and now you hear that news. Does that bring into the conversation the golf ball rollback? Yeah. I mean, you've got. They've been lengthening the course, and 365 yards is not long. I mean, I get it in the PGA Tour, but does that bring up the conversation of needing to roll a golf ball back? First time in history it's been done. Well, guys are only getting stronger. I'm not a fan of it. I don't want to see it. I think you can narrow fairways. I think you can thicken the rough. I mean, look at Farmers Insurance Open. Well, I guess it's not the Farmers Insurance Open anymore, but down in Torrey Pines.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of tournaments that don't exist anymore, I just found out today the Dell match play's gone. I really like that. Austin Country Club, that was such a great tournament. Gone.
Wells Fargo, they dropped their sponsorship. Farmers Insurance, they're done down at Torrey Pines.
Yeah, so if we shrink the tour and we try to get less players, but the better players, which aren't on the PGA Tour anymore really, who's going to sponsor?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I mean, there's a reason the sponsors are leaving, right? When you lost so many players, and it's not that there's not world-class players still on the PGA Tour, but as a whole.
Yeah, I would say on all tours, Scottie Scheffler's still number 1. Between both tours. I think he could take anyone on live too.
Depends on the putting.
He's solid. Yeah, if he putts like today, no doubt. But if you look at today's scores, right? So we finished 15 under. So divide that by 4. That's almost 4 under each day. That's what a pro should shoot.
Right.
I don't want to see a pro shoot even par. I shoot even par. I want someone that wins a tournament. Let's say it should be 4 to 5 under.
Right.
2 to 3 days out of the 4. So they should always be shooting between, call it 10 under and 16 under.
I think so. Okay, but how about the majors? Do you want to see those 15 unders in majors?
Yeah, because you should be making birdies. That's what separates a pro from an amateur is birdies. I don't want to see. I don't care how hard you make the course. Someone's out there hitting the green and 2-putting for par. Like that's not fun. Right. That's not entertainment.
Right.
You know,
I get it.
John Wick in a movie is different than me in a movie. You know what I mean? Like he's training. His gun sequences are so much better. Like he's a professional actor, professional. You know, gunsmith, and then that's what I want to see. That I can go out and make standing still 3-pointers, but I'm not gonna make them in an NBA game. So I want to see, you know, you got to have that separation. I don't understand. We don't raise the basketball goal to 14 feet, and say like, oh, now you guys are doing layups just like me.
But if I think that the margins are so thin that you put all pros on an easier golf course, they're all going to hit a lot of birdies. So if you take the majors. Make them significantly harder. Does that separate out who's the best in the world that week for that major? Lightning fast green. I mean, look at the Masters. What do you think? You think you want to watch the Masters at 15, 18 under, knocking birdies everywhere?
The thing to me too is like, do you really like what makes the major the major? Who like you know what I mean? I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, who cares? It's at this one course. Right. The PGA's at a different course every year. Right. U.S. Open's at a different course every year. Yeah. The Open.
It's the prestige of the tournament, right? It's just the history, the prestige.
Yeah. So the only course that has the same tournament every year is the Masters. And that course is super hard already. You know, what's the winning score there every year? It's probably like between 10 and something.
I don't even know if it's that high, is it? I think if you took 30-year average, is it like, I'm going to guess 7? I mean, I have no idea. Let's see.
Look it up.
Yeah, let's see if we can.
Yeah, I think.
Look it up.
I think if you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Young Jamie, go ahead and pull that up there. I think if you look at the majors, yes, we put a lot of pressure on them because we talk about it, but really, if you put it in, you know, the absolute bars in the math equation, it's still just a golf tournament. It's still 4 days. It's still 18 holes. It's not. It's only you making it something.
Yeah, no, for
sure. The same thing.
I think it's because they ratchet the majors up. They become a significantly more difficult course.
But you still should be under par. You know what I'm saying? It still should be under par. Be
right.
I just don't think if you're a professional golfer, I don't want to see you shoot even par.
Okay, so I'm gonna just read these back from the most recent 2023 back because I couldn't just find a quick.
Yeah, give us the last 5 years.
Yeah, here we go. Starting in 2023, John Rahm won it last year, 12 under. Scotty 2022, 10 under. Hideki 10 under. Dustin Johnson, there's your 20 under. Tiger in 19, 13 under. Then we go 15 under Patrick Reed, 9 under, 5 under, 18 under, 8 under, 9 under, 10 under, 14.
Yeah, so it's
16,
probably weather.
12, 8, 1 over. Zach Johnston, 2007 was 1 over. Phil 7 under. Tiger 12 under. Phil 9 under. Mike Weir 7. So I'd be willing to bet we're probably talking about roughly 12 under.
And that makes sense. That's 3 under a round.
Yep.
Maybe one day you get crazy.
Right.
You get out, greens are pure. You get your 4 or 5 under, but 3 under seems good. You know, right. If you can shoot 3 under at Augusta, that should be your winning score.
Yeah.
You know, I like that.
Right. All right. Also, it was kind of news because Will Zalatoris, you know, when he first came out, he was kind of young gun, came out making some noise.
Yeah, he looked
right
like
away.
the guy from Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, right.
Like that.
He I know. You just got to own it. Last year got hurt. Had, you know, I think he had something with his back, his neck, something like that. He had a couple surgeries. He's playing this week on a medical exemption. Needs to be placed in the top 5, I believe it was. And he was going into hole number 18 at 7 under. Needed to finish at 5 under or better to get exemption into the Open, which he did. Shot 7 under. So he's making a little bit of a comeback. Made another putter change this year. Went to the lab putter, arm lock.
Well, putting, he was 22nd this weekend in strokes gained putting. Total strokes gained, he was tied for 4th. Driving accuracy, 1.
Yeah.
Took that home. Scrambling, he did well there. Also number 1 in bogeys.
I mean, it came down to for him is putting again.
Yeah.
If you remember, there was memes for a while last year. He had that one putt where when he took the putter back, and it was only like on a 3-footer, he almost made like like if you were drawing a star, that's what it looked like when he took it back. It kind of came back, came really inside, popped it back outside, and then cut across it.
Well, like now that he's got the cheater putter.
He didn't go broomstick. He went arm lock.
Yeah. Well, now he has broomstick. He has the lab broomstick now.
I thought it was arm lock. I'm pretty sure.
Today he has.
Broomstick. Did he go broomstick today? Okay, I didn't see. I knew when he came back. He went
it's
arm lock.
long. It's like as tall as him.
Yeah, but he's not real tall, is he?
I don't know. But yeah, so he was tied for 27th in total putts per round, of averaging 28.5.
Sure.
It's not bad, but let's see how big he is.
While you're looking that up, Puerto Rico
He's
Open.
6'2".
Is he really?
Tall, yeah. Well, he only weighs 175 pounds, so he's pretty thin. But he's 6'2". I mean, that's your height.
And he's and what is he? His putter is 6 foot. I'm just got it.
It's his height. It's a custom.
Yeah. Puerto Rico Open had the longest playoff in history at that tournament. They had to go 4 extra holes.
Who took that one?
That's a great question. I had that written down here, and I can't find it right now. It was a winner on tour before.
Yeah, they had a decent leaderboard going into that one. I forget. Let me see if I can pull it up here. But they had a pretty strong leaderboard going into that final day.
You got it pulled up there?
Yeah. So it looks like the winner was Bryce Garnett with a birdie on the fourth hole.
Yeah, he did. Barnes, who he was playing, hit the ball a little bit long on the green. So Garnett, he hit it must have been around a 20-footer. I was watching it live, actually. He hit a 20-footer for birdie, and Barnes was just long on the fringe. And he had that putt 3 other times this tournament, back of the green. I think he had it twice in the playoff. Out of their 4 holes, he had the same putt twice, and just hit a little too hard, and just hit it through its break to try to tie that thing. So that was a little bit of excitement at the Puerto Rico Open.
Yeah, that's weird. They had 2 tournaments this weekend. One purse of 20 at Arnold, and then purse of $4 million down at Puerto Rico. So, I missed 24 million for the weekend.
Yeah. And the winner at the Arnold's place, $4 million, first place, $4 million. I mean, that's live payouts, right?
That's live payout right there.
I just don't understand why the PGA Tour drew such a hard line in the sand from the very beginning, because so much of what they're doing now is starting to mirror live, right? You've got purse payouts. You've got Rory wanting less people in the field.
Well, you think in the beginning they look at the live and they go, oh, yeah, whatever. These guys are going to try to start a tour. That's cute.
Right.
And then you forget that they have a bank account that has an infinity symbol. They pull it up in the statement. It's just got the infinity. So it's like it never runs out. No. It's right there.
Right.
So then what's PGA Tour going to do? Now they're trying to raise money. They're trying to get other investors. Right. They're losing some sponsors because, if Rahm's not there and DJ's not there and Bryson's not out there and Koepka and Joaquin Nima and all those dudes aren't going to show up, then now you're like, well, maybe I'm going to pull that. How many ever million I got to put up for this tournament?
Right. Tiger joined the advisory board for the PGA Tour, trying to make a splash, trying to figure out how to right the ship.
Yeah, and huge Tiger fan, but his ship's kind of sailed. I think he'll still draw a crowd, but it's not because of his play. It's just because people want to see, like if Michael Jordan's at McDonald's, he's going to draw a crowd. It's
funny because if you take, I was watching Tiger, every time he's on, you're going to watch Tiger just to see if you can find that last minute magic, right? And watch and take away the physical issues and let's put him back to his body before probably the car accident where it really went downhill. Yeah. Here in LA. So you take him back to before that. I don't know if Tiger was ever going to really be Tiger again. I mean, because when you talk to the tour, or you hear the guys on the tour, and they all talk about how Tiger's like loosened up on the golf course, and he's fun to be around, jokes around with us, he's talking during his round. That's what made Tiger Tiger.
Yeah, he's a killer.
You never heard from him. He never talked to anybody.
He didn't go to eat with anyone. No. Practice with anyone.
The minute he let that guard down and started becoming friends with people, did he lose his killer instinct? That just separated?
Maybe having kids and getting a little older and maybe realizing that he wasn't the killer, then he's like, well, I might as well have some fun while I'm out here. And then he kind of becomes like buddies with some of the younger guys. And then it probably makes you feel young again, too. Like if you're hanging around a 26, 28-year-old and you're 46, like you're going to feel like, I'm young and cool. This is fun.
Funkle.
Yeah.
Fun uncle.
Yeah, exactly. He became Uncle Tiger out there. Mm-hmm. So, you guys want some smokes?
Right.
So in Corn Ferry, we were down in, I think, we were in Chile? Yeah, Santiago, Chile. And another playoff. Taylor Dixon won in a playoff. So it seems like we're getting some pretty good golf. I mean, playoffs are always fun. I love a playoff. I mean, a few years ago, I think we had what was it, like 4 or 5 tournaments in a row we had playoffs.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the pressure.
Yeah. It got insane.
Right? When you happen to go out and close in a playoff, makes a huge difference. I know.
LPGA again, playoffs too this weekend, right? They're in China.
Yeah, Bailey Tardy, first time winner on tour. I know this is her second season. She last season she got cut quite a bit. She really struggled on tour. Coming back this season strong. And,
that's tough, dude. She threw up a 65 in the fourth round, and then went in a playoff, which is pretty tough to do.
Well, round 3 she went 66. So she went 66, 65, final 2 rounds, and you can't win it outright.
What a time to find it. And she's got Lydia Ko up there too, which is
it was a 3-way tie.
She's just a stud.
They had a 3-way tie in the final round to start that round. And Tardy actually lost the lead with the bogey. She had a great front 9. She shot 33 on the front 9, came out with 10, hit bogey on 10, loses the lead, comes back and drops 3 straight birdies, par, birdie, just to make playoff.
Yeah, ice in the veins for her.
Right? She shot, what was that, 32?
I mean, look at her back. Look at her back 9. She goes bogey,
and then
birdie, par, birdie, par. Birdie's 18, which
17.
17, and then par's 18.
She goes 32 on the back just to make playoff.
That's insane. The putter was on fire.
I don't understand why more people don't watch the LPGA Tour. The only difference really is the length on driver, 3-wood, 3, 4, 5 iron. After that, the women don't. There's not that big of a difference. They can hit it, but they just don't. They're more of a finesse game.
Well, there
is good golf on the LPGA Tour.
They play like really good old man par, and that sounds odd, but that's what it is because they're so skilled, right, and they have such good tempos, and they don't overswing, and you get, and the PGA Tour, what you get is trouble. Right. Oh, look, this guy's in a bunker. Oh, look at this guy's out here in the woods. Oh, this guy hit it in someone's house. And so then it kind of adds drama to the game.
Right.
The girls, it's not boring. It's really solid golf. It's
consistent
fairways and greens and birdies, and they don't really make a lot of mistakes.
No.
You know?
No, they don't.
And you talk to any teacher, they're going to tell you, watch the girls on the LPGA. They have such good tempo. They get the club in the right spot. Their sequences are really well. So you can learn so much from their game.
Probably, let's see, I got to think about this. 16 years ago, probably the last time I took a lesson, Mardell Wilkins is who I worked with out at Oso, off of the country club over there off of Oso.
Coda?
No, I'm really off the 5 and Oso. I'm really struggling with I had a long weekend in Palm Springs this weekend. Watched a little pro tennis. But anyways, Mardell Wilkins, she was on tour for a while. Studied under Jack Nicklaus's coach for a while. Anyways, took some lessons with her. And one of the things that we talked about, she had me do, was all about tempo, all about control. And it was she advised me, watch women's golf. Watch how they just control the golf ball. They're not there trying to he-man it, 400 yards down the fairway. Yeah. Everything is find your fairway, find your approach shot, attack pins when you can, middle of the green other times, get your birdie putts in here and there. But it was all about control and tempo. 100%.
That's like, if you watch Scotty Scheffler, I mean, he's a ball striking machine. He's got such good sequence through his swing. He gets the club in the right spot. The only thing that will throw people off is his foot slide on his driver, but they say he's been doing that since he was a little kid.
Right.
So it's kind of, that's his thing. He has to do it. But you watch him with an iron or anything else, he's such good tempo, such good swing sequence.
Right.
Ball's just on the green. On 18, he went right at the pin. He didn't need to. He had a 5-shot lead. Yeah. He was right at the pin. Has a makeable birdie putt, taps in for par, off he goes.
You're in the zone. You're not gonna not swing for it. So, with on the lines of the LPGA, we had International Women's Day week last week.
All month, right?
Yeah. Well, it is a month long, but on the first day, the NXXT Tour. Is this ringing a bell? We had they came out and banned transgender golfers from the women's tour. That's big news. You've got to be a biological female to be able to compete now.
Yeah, that's a big move. I mean, got to be one of the first sports to do it, right? I know there's that something about some swimmer.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't really pay too much attention to.
Yeah, that was in college. Riley Gaines was who came in second. Big advocate of women's sports.
Right. I think she was on Rogan this week. I didn't listen
she
to
actually?
it
Yeah,
yet, but
she was.
It's probably one of my next episodes. But yeah, that's huge. I mean, I have 3 daughters. You have 2 daughters. Like, it just doesn't seem right. Like, I wouldn't put my son against my daughters, or put your son against. It just doesn't make sense. Like, it's not fair.
Right.
There's got to be a cutoff, and if we have to make another group, we just make another tour, or another group of people that can play each other.
Totally agree. And they came out and said, well, then you're isolating us. But how? You already have men and women. It's already isolated. It's not.
But in a sense, you kind of isolated yourself because you went hybrid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to take a Prius to race a Tesla, and you're not going to take a Prius to race a Chevelle.
Right.
It's a hybrid.
Yeah.
You kind of got the hybrid going on.
Right.
Like, you got a little bit of each in you.
Right.
Even if you're taking the hormones or whatever.
Right.
It's just not. It just doesn't seem fair. Like, you got to stay in one lane or the other, and then if you can't, you got to get in that third lane. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not a doctor.
Yeah. No. I mean. That's a whole different subject that we can go down into a whole rabbit hole of conversation.
But you got to protect. It's just, I mean, it's kind of sexist to not do that. If you think about it. Like, if you think like a real girl born XX grows up, does all this hard work, and then someone that was XY their whole life working out, obviously has different bone and muscle structure, then says, oh, no, dude, I'm going to drop the Y out of X.
Right.
Boom, hops on, starts crushing everyone. You're like, oh,
there's been a number of issues. I know volleyball, there's some headlines out there on that as well right now where one of the teams, I think it's out of Canada, and I think it's a college team, and the starting 5 out of the 6 are transgender, that have transitioned to females. And there's some players that have been injured. I know someone got hit, and they had to take her off to the hospital. I mean, it was just, and this team is undefeated. And they're getting to a point where the biological female teams are just not showing up to play anymore.
Yeah, it's getting a little too confusing. I mean, what are you gonna do? Say, well, you have to be on hormone therapy for X amount of months, or you gotta monitor their hormone therapy. You know what I mean? Like, how are you gonna structure this to even it out? And it's just unfair to girls. Like, it's probably one of the worst things you can do to girls. Like, oh, yeah, we're supposed to be equal, treat everyone fairly. And then you say, well, I don't see any girls trying to get into guys' games.
Never. I agree. I've always wondered, where is it? Where?
Girl in a flannel, short hair, coming on to the NFL.
No.
Like, you don't see it that way. No. You just see some dude who says, oh, I'm a girl now.
Right.
It's like that South Park episode.
Right. Well, and, it's interesting because of 3 of my kids play competitive tennis. And when you are younger, you will have, when our girls enter into tournaments, there are times, especially if you're doing team tennis kind of stuff in the league, where you'll have, my daughters will be playing against boys because it's not based on gender. It's just a team tennis, so you have a mix of boys and girls on it. Yeah. There's just a difference. And the boys are just a little stronger, and it's not that our girls can't keep up. And my girls have beaten boys a number of times. So it's more.
In high school we had girls on our golf team. There was 2 girls on my golf team in high school they beat all the boys. Right. They shot in the 30s like every tournament or every match. Right. And they played the boys' tees. Yeah.
Once you get to a certain point, though, that starts to change. Right. Because of just the strength. And there's just no way around it.
But that's also golf. It's not the same as, it's not a professional sport. There was no girls golf team, so if they didn't play, they had nothing.
Right, absolutely. Right. So, anyways, just thought it was some news to bring up. Whether you're for it, against it, like it, don't like it. The reality of it is that NXXT tour bans transgender.
Well, that's good. Maybe that'll be the first step, and then they can do it in swimming, volleyball, girls basketball. Like, start the trend to protect the girls so that they can keep their sports fair and competitive for themselves.
Right.
Champions Tour, they are out in Arizona, still in progress right now. Looks like Joe Durant's got a 2-shot lead going into the 15th hole. So we'll see how that pans out.
It's really opened up the field out there. Because Bernard Langer has really dominated the Champion Tour for a
Once
long
he got
time.
his broomstick,
yeah,
he made everything.
But hurt. He's out.
Yeah, so just the good thing is you're starting to get some of the dudes that we watched in high school and college, like Miguel's getting out there. Ernie Els was getting out there. Padre Harrington's out there now. Tiger's a couple years from being out there.
Do you think he goes? I was going to ask you that.
Latif Gooson's out there. KJ Choi's out there.
Is Stricker?
Yeah, he was. I don't know if he's in this tournament.
Stricker, but do you think Tiger goes?
Yeah, he is. He's tied for 33 right now. Steve Stricker.
Do you think he goes, Tiger, to the Champions Tour? Or do you think he's just, I'm just going to be all in for the kids?
I don't know. I could see him maybe getting in a couple here and there just for fun. They'll probably offer him the purse, Right. Hey, if you come play in this, we could give you $1 million or something.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to change his focus to Charlie probably and just focus there. He's kind of, I don't see him playing too many more PGA Tour events.
Well, I just don't think the body can hold up.
Yeah.
As much as you want him to, and much as he feels like he can. I mean, I don't know. He supposedly was sick on this last tournament that he was.
Yeah, he hit that shank and then he didn't feel well.
Right.
Those make me sick too. When I shank, I'm like, oh, it hurts. Like it's so embarrassing. You get so embarrassed, your stomach hurts.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those where you wish you had some grooves on the hosel.
Yeah. I've been asking for that for years.
I know.
Like Voki, just a couple on the hosel and a couple on the toe.
Yeah,
and maybe some on the bottom too as well. You can get some grooves on the bottom.
That leading edge.
Is the MOI on the bottom at all? Could we? Where's the tech, dude?
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Step it up. That's funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of. Y.E. Yang is now on the Champions Tour. We've got a lot of dudes that we used to watch that are now out there. Hit that 50-year-old mark, and then you can get out there.
Dude, it just means we're getting up there too.
Dude, a few more years, I'm going to be going to some qualifiers.
Yep.
Yeah, so tour-wise, pretty good weekend.
It was. All playoffs, right? I mean, well, not PGA Tour, but LPGA.
Yeah, Live.
We did have the Sony. Or not the
Sony.
Yeah,
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yep.
Puerto Rico.
Just Scotty just stepped on the gas and said, no
it's
playoff.
Putter.
No playoff on this one.
100% the putter. And we talked about that in the in our last cast that we had, the last one podcast, which was our first one. We talked about technology. How all the guys were all blades for so long. That's what they grew up in. And as the tour has been changing, you get new blood in and more technology into the putters.
Yeah, and if you love a blade, which I love a good blade putter, everyone does, you got to have a mallet somewhere around the house. Because I think it's so important to go back and forth. Even if you practice with the mallet, and it makes you a better blade putter. Play with the blade, go to the mallet, back and forth. You got to have some change in there. It's just like anything.
Right.
You mix it up, gives you different thought process, a different feel. Now you're using, a little more athleticism versus just trying to be a robot.
Right.
I'm a huge fan of that. I got a couple tool balls at the house.
Yeah,
we have some. We have Phantom. We have some other ones down there. That it's just always good to go out and hit those and work on it.
I've got some big news myself this coming week in the golf world. I haven't played around in 6 months. Just been busy, stuff going on. Haven't really been to the range a couple times over the last month or so. Gonna go out and play to Harris Creek on Thursday.
Nice.
Not a real friendly welcome back. Front nine's pretty open. You can get away with it.
And they have rough there.
Yeah, in the back nine, and it gets narrow. There's not a room for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Not a lot of room for error. So if we're gonna get back out there, get on the horse.
The back nine gets you. If you're greedy on 10, that'll get you because you got the water. And then if you get greedy on 11, it's a weird angle, especially from the back tees.
Yep.
You really have to hit it a certain number on a certain line or you're dead. Because if you go left a little bit off the tee, then you're going to go long. You're in that bunker in the rough.
Yep.
Or you lose it in the whatever.
Yep.
So, yeah, the back nine can punish you or it can reward you.
You have to be – it's target golf.
Yeah, lines. You got to hit your lines because your distance and your line are the two things you got to factor.
Right.
You can hit it short, you better take a different line.
Yeah.
If you hit it long, well, you better take a different line than if you hit it short.
I've always played out well on that back nine. It just causes me to focus in. But last time I played it, was a while ago, and I was playing a lot of golf. And so I knew my numbers, knew everything. The swing felt good. I went to the driving range, and I kind of told this story. I told you this before. If you want to know where my golf game is at right now. Went out to the driving range, and I set my bag down. I haven't touched them in 5 months at this point. I mean, I wasn't swinging in the garage, nothing. No putting green in the garage, nothing. Just haven't touched them. Get out on the range, and it's at night. And I put the bag down, grab the driver out, do a few stretches off the back. We're going to loosen the shoulders up, stretch out a little, twisting around a little bit. Put the driver down, grip it. Just some nice, loose, fluid swings. Did like 2-3 practice swings at 50%, up it to 75%. Like, okay, I'm going to do a hard swing. First, as warm-up. Swing, as I come through, just when I get to full extension, driver just sails right out of my hands. Like a boomerang flying through the air. I mean, beautiful trajectory. Just launched it. I think that thing went out there 45 yards out, like a helicopter, right in the middle of the driving range. And there must be 40 plus people on the driving range out here hitting balls. Lights are on. No one really even saw it.
Everyone stopped hitting.
So
it's got to get his driver.
To make it worse, so I go up to the pro shop there. I'm like, hey, there's a driver out there. Of course, I'm not gonna tell them how it ended up out there. I'm like, but yeah, there's a driver out there. Can we stop? And they're like, oh, we don't have the intercom on, so it's not working right now. So no.
You individually tell everyone.
So yeah, and they're like, well, ball picker will come pick it up. And then he hadn't come around in a while.
Right over the top.
Yeah, so I have to go down the line. And like, hey guys, hold on 1 second. Hey guys, hold on 1 second. I gotta go out there, and I had to go stop like probably 20 plus people from hitting. And everybody's like, what's this guy doing? Run out in the middle of the driving range, grab a driver, come back.
That range is deadly too, because I don't know if you're allowed there if your handicap's under 30.
So that's the state of my game. Is chucking drivers into the driving range. So it's gonna be an interesting week. I've had the itch. I've been getting the itch to get back out there, really get the game going again. We'll see how this goes. I might try to get a range session in just to kind of dial it one more time, if nothing else, before I would play.
I got an invite to Monarch on Friday. Played it a couple times.
Yeah, kind of know that course a little bit.
I'm like a 4 caddy when I'm there.
Yeah.
So I'm playing there Friday, and then Jason and I just got back from Modesto. We went to the mothership up there. Yeah. We were at Del Rio Friday. Just insane. That facility and course is unlike any other.
Was it a first tee event?
On Thursday, we went to a first tee event at the Swing Center in Modesto, which is pretty sick, actually. Right. They have 6 bays with launch monitors, so you can rent them out, have a party, whatever. Just practice on your game. Really nice facility. Awesome. Way, way beyond my expectations. We went there and did a first tee event, and then for our golf mat, and then we went to Del Rio on Friday, hung out with Bill. Jace got 3 or 4 lessons in one day, and whenever Bill had a break. Worked on his game, worked on his sequence. He's flushing the ball, and then I, of course, messed around, got a couple pointers, and ended up staying out there until like 7 p.m. Right. So we got a little fishing in, a little bass fishing in. Jace caught a couple bass. So I mean, it's insane. Like you got a gym, you got pickleball, you've got 27 holes. Greens are always rolling at least a 12, 13. Right. Sometimes I'll get them up to 14 if it's a tournament. Right. And then you have a driving range that's insane, practice facility, wedge facility, a cart barn that goes up where you can hit out of it with TrackMan dual camera. I mean, it's unlike anything around this area.
Well, we don't have the room. I mean,
Kodo kind of has something like that, but they don't have the range facility that they have. They have a short game there, and they have 36 holes, and bass fishing. So Kodo's close, but it's also probably $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month.
There just isn't. We're in Southern California, Orange County, and there just isn't the room here to have a massive facility. And if you do, it's just the cost to keep that thing up and running and maintained at the end of the day. So we just don't have a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, and if you go to Kodo, I mean, what do you got? 35 minutes to get out there?
Yeah,
maybe.
Right. So and on a side note, how good is golf course bass fishing everywhere?
It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Oh my gosh.
All you need is a rod, some hooks, and a couple Cinco colors,
Yeah,
and then it's just one after the other.
Game on until the marshal shows up.
Yeah. Well, here you're allowed to fish, which is awesome. Like,
you have more people fishing than golfing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like Jace, I think the whole time he was more excited about fishing than he was. Free lessons from one of the top teachers in the nation, coaches Johnston. Like, being at this facility, unlimited practice, playing, all that, and all he's worried about is when we can start fishing. Yeah. I'm like, all right, buddy. Yeah. Priorities here.
Yeah, we were in Palm Springs, and that's a golf haven out there with all the golf courses. There's always great, and we were at a house on a lake that was right on the golf course there. Not a thing. Took some rods, took the lures. They claim that it's catch and release. There was no releasing going on, just because there was no catching going on. I threw everything out there. Everything that's worked for me.
You can't catch golf course bass on a green.
But we weren't. It wasn't
Cinco or a black and red Cinco. There's no fish in that pond.
That's my son threw for a while too. He's like, dude, there's no fish in here. I'm like, there's gonna be fish. I said, I think it's the user, not the rod or the lure. It's the user. I didn't have any other luck. I tried late night. I tried early morning. I tried midday. Yeah, nothing. Not even a bump.
That's not right. Fish must have died. Probably too much fertilizer or something. They probably sprouted legs and walked off.
Right. So, well, I think that wraps up another episode. Anything else you want to?
No, that's it for me. We'll be back next week. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good one.